Good afternoon, friends. This is Bhushan Nemlekar from Dahisar Connect and on DC Celeb Talk. And I have a good friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, Pankhil Harish Chheda. He is an entrepreneur to introduce him, and a very big task which he has performed right now, just a few days back, is he has scaled Mount Everest, which is a dream for everyone. It's difficult for everyone, and not anyone can do it. So, hello, Pankhil, how are you?
Hello, Bhushan ji. Thank you
Yeah.
for inviting me and having me on the Dahisar Connect.
Yes, welcome
Uh,
to my show. And this is a platform where I invite people who make a difference to the society, who have done something in life. So you are in that category. So can you just introduce yourself as a business person, as an entrepreneur, and how did you think of actually going on scaling Mount Everest?
right. Uh, Hello guys. I'm Pankhil Harish Chheda. I'm from Borivali, Mumbai. I'm 35 years old. We are into real estate business. So basically, I've done my education from IIT Mumbai. I did my BTech and MTech in computer science from IIT Mumbai.
Oh, great.
After that, I did a job for a couple of years,
Yeah.
and thereafter, my father he actually started this business way back in 1990, and now he has gradually shifted more into political work and social work. So we had a discussion amongst ourselves that if he has a company and he's already giving employment to so many employees, so if he has to continue this social and political work, he needs some backup or someone to, from the family to support him. So then I had to leave my job. I left my job voluntarily actually, and I thought
That
that
I
that
want
would
to
give
I
me
want to
more.
interfere. I want to interfere in between. It's a very nice thing when you said I voluntarily left my job. It's so nice,
Right.
friends, when I hear or see a person who's actually an IITian and for to take his father's business ahead, he has taken a very strong decision. It's a very nice thing. Continue, Pankil.
Right. I was actually more into adventures right from my very childhood.
Yeah,
So this was one of the reasons, which led me to take this decision, because I was not getting so much holidays from
yeah,
my job, and so much free time to pursue things apart from earning money. So that was also one of the motivations behind, me leaving my job and joining my father's business. So this happened way back in 2012, 2 years after I graduated from IIT.
yeah.
So it's been almost 10 years into real estate business, and so I have learned the nooks, tricks, and the whatever things are needed to carry forward this business in the last 10 years from my dad and people around him. And as far as mountaineering is concerned, so this happened way back 10 years, when I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
In 1999, we started trekking in the Himalayas. So my father, he had done his basic mountaineering course from Nehru Institute of Mountaineering, Uttarkashi, in 1995. And he said that, why not we as a family just venture out in the Himalayas. And at that time, mountaineering was not taken so much seriously in India, and very few people used to go at least in the Himalayas, and especially in these expeditions for 8,000-meter peaks. There used to be mostly army expeditions, people from Navy, Air Force, Indo-Tibetan Border Police, and only these government aided expeditions used to go
Agencies.
to
Yeah.
Everest and this. So it was not so much popular, and so from 98, when I first got started venturing into Himalayas, that the mountains started attracting me, and I just got more and more curious about exploring more peaks, and how beautiful the nature looks from such heights. So then in 2000 we went to Harkidun, and in 2005, when I just gave my IIT JEE entrance exam. After that, my father took me to Everest base camp. So we went on the hike to Everest base camp when I was 17 years old.
Oh,
So when first saw, how good Everest looks from Kala Patthar, Everest base camp, and Pumori high camp, I was so mesmerized, like, the last rays of sunlight, how they fell on Everest. And it just, stuck in my mind that someday I need to come up and see how the world looks from that height. So that dream had, the seeds of Everest were sown that very year 2005, when I was 17 years. Then when I was studying in IIT, in my summer holidays, we used to have 2 semesters, and we had 3 months of vacation after the second semester. So in 2006, I applied for basic mountaineering course in ABVMS. Back then it was DMAS in Manali. It's a Mountaineering and Allied Sports Institute, Atal Bihari
Yeah.
Vajpayee Mountaineering Institute from
Okay.
Manali. So I did my basic course from there. Thereafter, next year, I did my advanced course, and my passion for mountains and my curiosity was just increasing. So 2011, 12, I started doing more and more treks. I went to Rupkund, I went to Bali Pass, a couple of other treks to Annapurna Base Camp, and thereafter in 2013, I got married, and in
Okay.
between, I was doing job, and then again shifted to business. So for a period I was thinking that if I want to pursue higher and higher peaks, you want to go to higher altitudes, I need to find more time, because these expeditions usually take 20-25 days, sometimes a month. And I was not able to get that period because of just shifting into business newly and newly getting married and all. So
Yeah.
I started skiing. I took up skiing courses in 2013. I started doing skiing. I did my basic mountaineering course from Indian Institute of Skiing Mountaineering in Gulmarg. And from
Okay.
that year onwards, I got attracted to skiing. So I started skiing for like 10 to 15 days every winter vacations. And this went on for like till 2015, 16. And then I was like, now if my Everest dream has to take some fruit, I really need to think about it seriously, and I really need to actually start doing expeditions. So in 2019, I was exploring that now I'll start doing expeditions from the next year, and suddenly the lockdown happened.
Yeah.
So lockdown didn't give me much more time to think about it and how to go about it. So in 2021, I registered for my first expedition, which was called the Black Peak. This is in Uttarakhand, and it's roughly around 6,100-meter expedition.
Oh.
And I felt myself fairly comfortable at such altitudes, and I was uh, enjoying my days there, and I was literally leading the pack just behind the Sherpas and the team leaders. So I was very motivated. Like, I felt like I'm in a good shape, and this is something which I can push my limits to and explore more and more. So the next year I again registered for Dev Tibba, which is a
Mhm.
little bit technical, has some steep gullies. And in October 2022, I went to Dev Tibba, which is in Himachal Pradesh. So this was a little different terrain from Black Peak. That was more of a moraine and more rocky, and this was more of deep snow. So on Dev Tibba, I had a very good experience of jumaring on 75-80 degree slopes, and that really helped me. And as soon as I did Dev Tibba, this thought just came into my mind that now I need to explore 7,000-meter peaks. Like, I'm done with 6,000, and I have achieved a good level of expertise, and I feel fairly comfortable. So the very moment I came from Dev Tibba, I called up a Nepali company, and I told them that my ultimate goal is to be on Everest. So if you can have a roadmap for me, like what peaks should I do to gain that technical expertise, 7,000-meter peak. So they said that there is a peak called Mount Amadablam, which is in the Everest region, which has a height of roughly 6,850 meters. We consider it in 7,000-meter category peak, and it's a very technical peak. Very few mountaineers have done it. It's a mountainous mountain. So if you can do that peak, like many people who have already been to Everest have not been able to reach the summit of Amadablam. It's like that technical. It has all types of mixed terrain. Like, you have to have like 5 degree French 5 grade rock climbing skills. You have to have good ice climbing skills, and you have to, like, really good skills on snow as well, on the last glacier part, on the Dablam part. So I said, like, I'll take up this challenge, and if I am able to do this, well, that would be a really good motivation for me to be on Everest. So 2022 November, I just after Diwali, I signed up for Amadablam expedition, and I became the 20th Indian to be on top of Mount Amadablam.
Oh, wow.
So it was a very, very technical peak, and I felt fairly comfortable on that, and I did not do any rotations on that mountain. So usually when you are venturing on higher peaks, you usually do acclimatization on the mountain. So you go at a particular height. Say if your base camp is at 5,000 meters, you try to go to 6,000 meters, sleep a night there, again come back. Then you go to 6,500 meters, then you sleep there, then you again come back, and then you go to 7,000 meters. That's how like these mountains are climbed. But since I had just done Dev Tibba, which was at 6,000 meters, I told my guide that I'm fairly acclimatized and I'll just go in one push to the summit. So we just went from base camp to summit in just 2 days and came back. So that
Okay.
was like a huge motivation to me, that like my body, mind, and my skills are fairly good enough on these high altitude mountains. So in November 2022, I decided that this is the time, like my body is in good shape. I'll push for Everest. And those 4 months, I thought that I'll give myself sufficient time to build up on my endurance and strength, which I had built in the last 1.5 years. So I started climbing staircases. Then repeatedly, I 3 to 4 days a week, I started climbing 200 to 300 floors a week, with little 10 to 12 kg backpack. Then thereafter, I used to do high intensity interval runs. Like I used to sprint 100 meters, 200 meters at a very high pace, increasing my heart rate, and to maximum capacity, like whatever, 180, 200, whatever I could go. And again resting for like 1 minute or so, and again giving those bursts, so that my lung capacity would grow, and my body and lungs would be fairly strong enough to hold in those conditions which are required at those altitudes, like in those low oxygen environment. So yeah, that's how my Everest journey just
That
came up.
that is very interesting, Pankhil. You know what? First of all, I have learned one thing, that it has actually percolated from your dad, because he's a man, as what you said, who was already into mountain. So he
Right,
is a person who motivated you to do this,
right,
and it's very
right,
nice that you took it up so religiously, and followed it up by taking smaller expeditions, and ultimately
right,
getting into the Himalayas, as what you said, Mount Everest. But
right,
friends, my viewers, I just want to tell you one thing, that this is how perseverance actually pays a lot. It's not like
right.
one day's time Pankhil decided कि मुझे Mount
Yes.
Everest चढ़ना है और मैं चला गया.
Right,
Took so many months or years
right,
rather, that
right,
he got himself ready physically,
right.
as well as his family supported him. He was in business. His
Yeah.
wife also
To
was
add to
there.
it, I would just add that I used to run full marathons. I ran full marathons from 2008 to 2013, all years, like,
Yeah.
and so 42 kilometers run. And my dad used to run 21 kilometers during the same duration. So, and I have also done 12-hour run. I ran like 85 kilometers in 12 hours. So
Okay.
all these things kept building on my endurance levels, like. And even when I was small, I took up skating as my first sport when I was like literally 9 to 10 years. So I used to put weights on my legs, and I used to skate early in the mornings. Like I used to wake up at 3, 4, and start from Borivali and all the way up to Andheri, sometimes up to Ghatkopar. I used to skate in the mornings with
Is it?
those weights. So yeah, so all those things started building muscle memory in my legs. Then I took up hockey as my sport when I was in school, and even when I was in IIT, I
Which
continued with.
school you were in, Pankhil?
So I was in St. Francis DSCC High School in
Oh,
Borivali.
great. Very nice.
So at that
Good.
time, there was not so many schools. There were not so many
Right.
international schools like
I
they are today.
understand. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
No, why I asked you, Pankaj, because even it's a matter of pride to the for the school, that like
right,
person of your caliber and you as their alma mater has been to the Himalayas. It's a glory for them. That's why. I mean,
right,
isn't it?
right.
It's a matter of
So
pride.
we so our building was just outside, opposite to the St. Francis School playground,
Yeah.
and I used to miss the first 2 to 3 periods in my school, and I used to be on the playgrounds like for the 2 hours for the entire 5 days of the week. So that's how the muscles and the memory of the legs and the core strength and everything which was built in the early ages, that helped me build up on the years later on. And
Great.
yeah.
How were your friends and all? Were they all health conscious like what you were, or were they motivated that they also should join in? for such expeditions, or they were completely different?
Like friends, as in the school friends or IIT friends, or
In general, I mean, see, a person always talking about fitness and running with roller skates up to Andheri and coming back would be a motivation.
yeah,
So, do you have friends
right.
there since childhood and who have stuck with you and joined for such expeditions till now?
Actually, my friends actually, I had friends in particular stages in my life, and
Okay.
I already always started making new friends. Like,
Okay.
so there was a disconnect. Like the school friends, they all, spread out to the different parts of the world, and they started getting
Nice.
busy in their lives, in the jobs, then getting married, and after getting married, like my mostly the youngsters of my age group, they stopped putting efforts into their
Yeah.
physical health or something like that. So there are very few friends who have still pursued like activities like playing football or cricket, or still pursuing sports. Like other than that, people are happy in their own life. They are happy to work and party for 2 days, Saturday, Sundays, and be
Okay,
happy
but
and merry.
it's nice
So
that like when a youngster of your age talks about being fit every time, and like going for higher expeditions. Maybe later on you'll be going on the Swiss Alps. I wouldn't know what is your plan, but when I heard about it, when I saw your pictures with Manisha ji, that she was offering you the bouquet. That was the time I
right,
realized that a person, a diamond like you, is staying in our vicinity, and I didn't even know about it as a founder and editor in chief, because this is what Daisar Connect is about. Pankhil, where we
right,
choose people who actually motivate others. And I didn't
right,
you existed in this locality. So I asked Jagdish Bhai, Mr. Jagdish Oza,
right.
where can I get in touch with Pankil? So he was kind
Yes,
to give me the contact numbers, and I want to thank him during the interview that he took this
sure.
initiative and I got in touch with you. I want to ask you one more thing. How was your parents' reaction when they said that you want to, besides your business, you want to concentrate even on your expeditions?
Right. So, surprisingly, like many people have asked me this question even before, and
Yeah.
they wanted to hear answers like, my parents would not have been supportive, or they would have thought that, oh, how this guy will go, and the conditions are so harsh. So many people have died on Everest, and it's a huge risk. But on the contrary, I would like to say that my parents were very supportive when I put my this idea to my dad. They have seen my journey in the past 10 to 12 years, how competitive this guy has been, how well prepared he is, how he has actually worked hard to to actually be in such a position to attempt such a high expedition mountain. So they were fairly confident enough in my technical skills and in whatever preparation I have done. So they just told me that you just focus on the process and increase your probability to be on top of the mountain. Don't think
Yeah.
about whether the summit will happen, what will happen on the mountain. So that was very encouraging for me to have someone who would say positive things to me, that just follow the routine, and things will be taken care of if you follow the right path, and do things correctly on the mountain. Like, because on these it's a long duration expedition, so you need lot of luck and a lot of things to go in your favor. Like, you need to be in a healthy state in such a low oxygen environment and all. So overall, I was very positive when I heard from them that don't worry, we are there. And now the technology is so much connected. You get good weather forecast, and you get good you still, even when you are higher on the mountain, you are still able to be in contact with your family. Like, I carried a Garmin InReach device which was connected to a satellite, and they were tracking me all the time from base camp all the way till the summit. When I
Oh,
was just a few steps away from the summit, when I came back, I read those messages in my family WhatsApp groups that oh, Pankhil is just below the balcony, oh, is just 200 feet away from the summit, oh, he must have just reached the summit and he's on the way back from summit. So that was like they were continuously following me, and they were knowing about where I am, what is going on with me. So in a way, they were not so worried about me. And of course, the expedition has its own challenges, and there were times, there was a period where they were awake whole night to and eager to know what's happening and what how far he has reached. But all in all, they were fairly peaceful and confident in what I am doing and my abilities. So it was
Very
a good
nice.
relief.
Very
Yeah.
nice. So my advice to the parents is have faith in your child, and leave everything else to the universal energy, to the Almighty. Because if he is following something, he or she is following something good in life, encourage them. And as what Pankhil
Right.
just now mentioned, that there technology is developed to such an extent where you can follow the person till the peak. I mean, this is just one thing talking about Mount Everest, but anything in life. If a child, Pankhil, wants to pursue any career, and if he is
Right.
consistent in that, I think you also will agree that the parents
Right.
should encourage that child rather than become
Right.
impediment and always discouraging. So I am
So
very happy
basically, fear of failure should not deter you from,
not
chasing what you
taking
actually
any.
want to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you are not willing to, even attempt something, how would you know whether you'd be able to do it or not? So my advice would always be, just give yourself a chance, prepare yourself well, and, just give yourself a realistic chance to do something which, you might think is not possible for you. But if you attempt it, after giving all your efforts, there are chances that you might do well in it. So
very good, very good. I mean, you are so motivating that I want to ask you one more question, which is pertaining to your travel to the Himalayas on the way. Do you remember
yeah.
anything vividly where like ये चीज से मैं एकदम टेंशन में आ गया? I know one or two things you
Right.
like to share with your friends.
Right, sure. So I'll just quote this one. Last year, while I was on Dev Tibba, the
Yeah.
6,000 meter peak which I was talking about previously. So what happened was, like, we were pushing from Camp 2 till the summit, and suddenly the weather changed. So the weather, there was a huge black cloud full on the eastern side from where we were climbing, and our guide suddenly told us that this is not looking good, and we need to turn around, like. So we just took a decision at that moment that we turn around, and the very same day we came from camp 2 to base camp, which was roughly around 1200 meters of descent. And you would not believe it, there was such huge snowfall. Our tents were fully covered into snow. When we woke up, we literally, there was snow above our tents. It was such a huge, there was so much snowfall in the entire night. We came out somehow, and we managed to remove all the snow and just barely take out our equipments, and we were barely able to come out from that situation, and we just left half of our stuff, and whatever tents and whatever cooking stuff, cooking things, and whatever we had taken at the base camp, and we just came down all the way till the base where we started trekking at the Jagatsuk area. So that was a very lucky escape. I would say that we took a very good decision at Camp 2 to see that storm coming, and the bad weather and all, and we just took that decision instinctively. Had we stayed back at Camp 2, we would have
Something things would have been very
something.
different at that
Yeah,
time.
yeah, it would have been very difficult for us to come, and there was snowfall for the next 2 to 3 days. So I feel myself really lucky that the right decision was taken, and we were able to descend and come back safely. Otherwise, we might have to be rescued, or something like that would have happened. you know a
So
life threatening
this
situation could have happened.
This, yeah, so this is
So
mainly, I think, it's God's blessings. It's
yeah, so, and it is also
parents giving.
partial decision making in mountains. Decision making is very crucial,
Mm.
and I think you learn a lot from mountains. Like, it's not always about climbing higher and higher, or bagging summits or reaching the
Yeah,
peak in the mountain,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's all about being in the moment, and seeing what things are happening around you and taking decisions. So you have to
Hmm.
understand, like, what is around happening around you, and even in your body. Like, sometimes you feel that, oh, just you can push your body, but there are times where you need to step back and realize that no, the going ahead might not be right for you, so you need to turn back sometimes. So that's how, like, you learn a lot
Sometimes the
in the
basic
mountain.
instincts which are there, that also guides us. Okay, okay, I think we should move out.
Right.
We should not
Right.
continue over there. Very nice. So this is
Right.
something which you will never forget throughout your life. But don't you think
Right.
these expeditions in life have made you tougher and made you, more confident in your present lifestyle?
Of course. So this I'll just quote one incident. Like in 2019, I came back from skiing in
Yeah.
February, and I had a fall there, and thereafter I was detected with an injury in my spine in L4, L5, and L5S1. So two discs were herniated. Basically, I had a slip disc in two, and it was a serious injury. And my I when I consulted the doctors, they said that you need to stop doing these adventure activities. You should stop running, you should stop climbing mountains, and you need to be on bed rest for a month. You need to take care of yourself, and only then you will be able to recover from it, and you might not be able to do these things in the future. That's
Oh
how grave the
God.
injury is. And that thing really hit me, like how can someone tell me that things would not be possible for you. So I took that injury very seriously. I worked upon me. I changed a little, changed my diet a little. I was 68 to 69 kgs at that time, which was not, I was not obese or something like that, but still I changed my diet. I stopped eating rice and, wheat and food grains and everything for like 4 to 6 months. I reduced from 68, 69 to 61, 62 kgs. And surprisingly, my back started feeling better and better and better. I did more of uh, cardiac exercises, some therapeutic exercises, which help in improving your spine position, spine conditions and all. And I just challenge myself, I'll slowly and steadily strengthen my back, strengthen my core, so that whatever the weight my back is taking, that the other muscles or the core muscles will start taking. And I don't want to lose upon something which I really like venturing outdoors, venturing for skiing, or doing going into mountains. And so I just it just motivated me even more. Like I'll challenge myself more to test myself and test my spine to be at these heights. So right now I am fairly fit to carry a 12 to 15 kg backpack and on an expedition to Everest. So that speaks like
This is
like
really amazing. I feel this is absolutely willpower which has made you, sustain all this. Otherwise,
right.
person would be completely devastated when you come to know that you have a issue with your spinal cord and you can't
Yeah,
climb, or go on expeditions. So I think it's
right.
really,
So that's how
normal.
like mountains have made me stronger. Like whenever I'm there, I just feel that the mountains will take care of me, because because of what my mind and physically what I have been doing in the past years. So the my body will be able to support me in these conditions. And yeah, that's how like being in the mountains has always made me stronger and made me believe that if you are on the right path and on the willing to change the things in your life, whatever is going wrong, things will be able to support you if you are able to work for it. Like,
Great, great. This was very motivating. I just want to ask you one more thing. In
yeah,
case, I mean, we have very few moments left. In case if
right,
we have been always hearing about, a lot of plastic and garbage which is there on the way to the
right,
Himalayas. Which is a
right.
environment. And yesterday was the Environment International World Environment Day.
Yes, yes.
Sorry, I mean, fifth is
5th
the.
of June. Yes,
So, don't you
yes.
think, how do you tackle this as a issue? How it can be taken care of?
Yeah, so as you rightly said, like this is a very big problem. Even in the Himalayas, like when I was way back in 2005, the way I saw Everest Base Camp in 2005 and right now in 2023, there's a huge change. Like the stop before Everest Base Camp, the Khumbu Glacier, the famous Khumbu Glacier between Base Camp and Camp 1, it used to be till the Gorakshep, which is the station before Everest Base Camp, way back in 2005. And right now the glacier is receding at a very fast pace. Like the pace at which it had receded in the past 100 years, it has receded the same in the last 10 years. That's how fast the receding of the glaciers is happening. Like literally we can see a lot of snow getting melted. And the where we used to actually collect snow in the previous expeditions, those areas have now literally vanished away. And the water has really the snow has really melted. So there in the Himalayan region, in that Everest region, there's a committee called Sagarmatha Pollution Control Committee. The Nepal government has given responsibility to this committee to collect the garbage and everything waste whichever is in that region. So they have made a fair good progress over the past few years by installing dustbins and garbage collection pits, and establishing septic tanks, and some STP for treating the sewage and all. So in the Khumbu region, what is happening currently is especially the human waste, like the expeditions and the trekking people, and whatever is there. They have provided an incentive to the expedition companies that whatever garbage is collected by these expedition companies, they provide some monetary refunds to these companies for every kg of waste collected by climbers as well as these companies. So a few climbers, few Sherpas like me, we collected some garbage from Camp 4 all the way when we came back. And when we deposited this garbage at Namche Bazaar, or at various stops which the Sagarmatha, these officials have some offices over there, they give us refund for this garbage. So right now at Camp 4, there was a lot of garbage which I saw, like because of the previous expeditions, whatever tents and oxygen cylinders and food, and because it was very difficult in some years where weather conditions might have gone bad for the climbers to actually take that garbage back and carry that down. So right now they are also trying to put on some fairly good and fairly trained Sherpas on top of higher camps to remove that garbage during that weather window, because this weather window lasts only for like 2 to 3 weeks. So to carry all that garbage down, and from in that short period, they need a lot of years to put people and start removing that garbage down.
Okay.
But still they are putting in efforts, and over I think over in the next 5 to 10 years a lot of things will get cleared. And
Very
apart
good.
from that, we have food bags to collect our human waste, and tea bottles to collect our urine or something, because the same glacier water goes to the villages down. So we would not want our waste or our things to
Yeah.
pollute those that environment.
Areas. Very good, very good. So that means there are people who are conscious about hygiene as well as
Yes,
uh, conservation of nature and environment. And I'm
yes,
so happy that you have given us this information. Before we just have about 3 minutes to go, I want to ask you,
okay.
what happened to your hand? Is it because of your expedition that you injured your hand? Just yeah.
Yes, so my two fingers have incurred frostbites actually,
Oh,
and
frostbites.
yeah, so it's a grade 3 frostbite, and the top one third, the top flange of this middle third and fourth digits are a little bit serious. So currently, I am taking treatment for that, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, and
Okay.
I'm hoping that I'll get recovered like 70 to 80% at least the tissues which have been damaged. This was because this was one of the deadliest seasons on Everest. Like if you read articles from the journalists who actually review the entire season on Everest, in the last 70 years, this is the year where 17 climbers passed away. This is the highest number in the last 70
Oh
years.
God.
More than
Okay.
60 to 70% of the climbers got frostbites. This was because of the there's a due to the global warming. Suddenly the temperatures were so low during that period. Usually in the month of May, Everest summit and the region near it is a bit warm, but this year there were strong winds. There were very low temperatures, and because of the wind chill, the sudden drop of temperatures, a lot of climbers suffered from high altitude sicknesses and frostbites, and even the climbers from Nepal army suffered, like.
Okay.
So
But I'm sure
it
you'll
was a,
recover with the kind of willpower
yeah,
you have, and
yeah,
with the blessings from the Almighty and your parents' blessings, and with all
yeah,
wishes from viewers of the Isar Connect. We would like to meet
yeah,
you in person for sure, and I want to interact with you in front of students so that they get motivated. So recover as fast as early as possible. And I would like to
sure.
thank you, Pankhil, that you gave your time today on this show, DC Celeb Talk.
It's my absolute pleasure and honor to be on your show.
Thank you.
And really looking forward to meeting
Yes.
students and motivating them.
We'll catch up for sure. God bless you, my friend.
Sure. Thank you.